Well, we are back here once again with another episode of the Iron Man podcast, episode 254, with Mr. Founder of the Madness Comwork Network, Santa Van Sant, actually, or we say Pops Van Sant or whatever. You guys know who he is. Obviously, he's a big promoter, Pops guy, goes around, basically has this infinite content loop he's found where basically he's sitting here going, you know what? Why would I produce hundreds and hundreds of videos when I can get other people to produce hundreds of videos for me?
No, not so. Not so. There may be about 2,700 videos on our network so far on the channel, but I'm in about 2,000 of them, bro. So I put in my share of the work. It began with, the CromCon, the big weekend events, and that was because COVID wiped out all the live cons and shit. So we built an online con. And then there was flow. There was overflow. People that didn't get a spot in the con. So I started doing a Monday show. And then there was still overflow. So I started doing a Tuesday show. And I was already doing Sunday the draw stream and the show offs on Sundays, even in the off weeks, so it was like I was wearing myself way thin, man. I started giving shows away, but at the same time, I was envisioning something bigger than a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Well, that's what I had the initial idea of having like someone else have their own show and then they just put it on my channel. And then they would always ask, like, how does that benefit me of it being here for me and you would have that? Well, the thing here is having it, I find that people are just a little bit lazy when it comes to like creating this stuff. They always say they want to, but they're just lazy when it comes to like creating this stuff in general. So if you already did it, you could just tell them, hey, I've already created it. You just have to just put out the show. That's it. You just have to hit go live. That's it.
Well, for me, it was a beta test. The YouTube channel was just a beta test. Could I get people to provide weekly content? Because if I could get people to provide weekly content, I could build the next level. I could take this to the next level, which is ROKU. Obviously, that's our next, that's what we're building as a ROKU platform, a view on demand platform similar to Netflix, where somebody can binge watch everything you do. Upload all 252 episodes, right?
Funny story, man, where my ex, she won a TV apparently in a raffle. And I don't know how much money it was. Look, they just got it at Walmart or whatever. So I went over and looked at it. It was a ROKU TV. She was like, what is a ROKU? And I'm like, good damn it. I was like, God, it's going into real life. And then remember I told you I checked my analytics for my podcast where I put the episodes out on like Spotify for podcasting, which is Anchor.fm. Before basically Amazon Music ate up all my analytics where everyone just views the show over there. There was a period point in time where people were viewing I'm not saying they're not, because it does say other. There's could be a shot that people are watching the show randomly on ROKU somewhere. I'm like, okay, I just find it so weird how I went and installed a ROKU TV for a person that wanted a fucking flat
now,
screen.
This is part of the key of going to ROKU. That's part of the reason. No YouTube overlords, no Google overlords, no algorithms, nobody telling you what you can and cannot do on your show. Nobody lobbying to governments in England trying to get your show taken off the network.
Dude, I forgot. I didn't put this out on Twitter yet, so I might as well just tell you here because I told you on the panel shows last time. How I did the one-on-ones and the panel shows. So you know how I told you previously that I had a hard time putting the show out on the podcasting platforms because of this. As I told you before, like every one of these bigger podcasting platforms tailors their specs to YouTube specs. So if you upload your podcast, they want to be like YouTube specs, certain gigabytes, certain like whatever, right? So I was putting in the episode before your first appearance on the show earlier this year, because your first appearance was episode 64. So putting in a panel show, episode 63, and it said my content was removed. Remember, these episodes are not going to be public. They're unlisted. They're only just there so I can download them so I can put them up on somewhere else where people can see them on like ROKU or Amazon Music, whatever. They gave me a warning. I was like, wait a minute. I got a warning for content I'm not going to release publicly. I literally emailed them and I was, because they said you can appeal or whatever. I was like, I'm not releasing this. How I'm getting a warning for content not released, never going to be seen by anybody. It's just there for like a week until I can put it up on somewhere else, you know? And then now apparently your warnings can expire. But I had a channel where I got a warning before. I never got a chance to expire my warning. So I got a warning on my backup YouTube account for about until March for content that no one's ever going to see. And I was sitting there going like, this is ridiculous. This is actually ridiculous.
Between that and the false scammer claims against your content, and I mean, there's so many things that drive me nuts.
They're just so bought and paid for. I mean, imagine when it comes to the election this time around.
Oh, well, that was the whole purpose of the timing. Yeah. I know people are about to start getting demonetized, and they're going to be looking over there going, "Damn, I hope Pops gets this thing up." Look, I'm one of the nicest guy in comics. Right after I was on this show talking about this, got demonetized. Pete Sametti. RJ got demonetized. Pete Sametti got... Look, guys, they don't care about you. I care about you. Mm-hmm. Bring your show to our Roku network. We're not going to take your money away. We're not going to, look, unless you break the law, your stuff's good. I mean,
unless you're literally doing what that one girl earlier this week was doing with Twitch, just flapping her tits, basically half naked. Yeah.
Look,
and everyone keeps saying, "Oh, but I can multi-stream to different platforms too." Twitch is terrible. If you did as much content as you did on Twitch, I think you would have a lot more success there. The problem here is like Twitch has this, how you said the algorithm problem for YouTube? Twitch's algorithm basically is people who are on top, we need to make sure they stay on top. Anybody else below that they're going to meet this threshold.
You got to sign up with them exclusively if you want them to help you in any way. Yeah. All of our stuff gets broadcast on Twitch. Every bit of it. I don't got no traction over there. I don't push
and that's why I wanted to bring up, because even a channel like yours, you have like constant content coming out, and that would be the ideal thing for Twitch. You're basically on hours and hours on end at that point. Mm-hmm. There's nothing. Twitch is actually even worse than YouTube. At least on YouTube, despite all the bad shit going on there, someone will at least see your stuff. You'll at least get a little bit of traction. You'll at least gain a subscriber at some point, and you'll at least get a threshold. Twitch is basically, unless you have 3 average viewers or what they say, past 100 followers, you're not getting nothing. Twitch's system's even worse. And Twitter, I mean, putting out content on Twitter is practically worthless unless you're like getting paid through Twitter. So every avenue of monetization is basically shit except for YouTube's, but YouTube's, they're so bought and paid for at this point by Google.
Shit, because they don't give you much.
Yeah.
Okay? The actual ratio of ad revenue that they give out is probably like a fourth of what we will be giving out on Roku, comparably. Okay. Not obviously, we don't have the following yet that YouTube has, but comparably, we'll be paying out more per ad than YouTube does. Okay. Well, they call it CFMs. Something like that, but
something like that.
I think YouTube gives out like 4 or 5 CFMs per ad, and we'll be giving out like 22. Almost, it's like a much higher ratio of the actual ad revenue will be going to the showrunner. Okay,
man. Like
not only that, like I said, no algorithms. There's nothing that's going to trigger something to get you blacked out. Okay, fair use, all that is in play here.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all in play here. Somebody's going to have to go to the DMCA with an actual true claim of content in order for me to even consider it. It's going to have to come from the DMCA. It's like,
dude, it's kind of weird that the biggest online media platform in the world, which is YouTube, it's literally the biggest one by live streaming numbers. Even now, it's even overtaking Twitch in live streaming and video content in general. You guys find it weird how you have to go to Twitter to get customer service from YouTube? You have to go to a different social media platform to get customer service from YouTube.
On Twitter to get their attention every time. Can't get their. I can send them a million emails. I can give them feedback, show them the screenshots. Like they were coming after me for licensing for Max's video, the guy developing our Roku channel. Okay. Obviously, we have permission to play his trailer on our show. It's his music. He sent me a copy of the licensing. I sent that to YouTube. Well, YouTube sends me a thing, oh, we got 30 days to look at this. We're just going to strike you every time you play it between now and when we decide to look at the licensing. They don't just look at it and go, okay, you're good. They got 30 days to screw with you. So we got hit after hit after hit after hit after hit on that particular music. Well, we had the license to play that music. We had the okay from the guy who had it. Okay. We sent it to him and we still caught crap to the point where we just quit playing the video. And that sucked for Max.
Yeah.
You know, look, trailers are free use, guys. You can't play a movie trailer on YouTube.
Yeah. If and you know, the other platform to talk about obviously is Rumble. I do like Rumble, but the Rumble has its own fair share of issues itself. Yeah, you can do all the Rumble actually has a algorithm that's not really an algorithm. It's kind of like YouTube's old Wild Wild West system where they had, right? But the thing here is you could be live. I'm practically live 7 days a week on Rumble. Traction's been pretty much just so, honestly, unless you're talking about like
I had put over 1,000 videos up on Rumble before I just went, man, this just didn't, you know, I'm not out there attacking the status quo enough to get traction.
Yeah, on Rumble, you got to be talking about the hardcores of politics. Yeah. Like, even if you talk about like left-wing politics, you'll get more traction on Rumble. Literally, you have to talk about like if I did a podcast where I was talking about Trump got removed from the Colorado ballot instantly when it happened in a panel, that's how you get traction. Literally, any podcast where it has Trump in it just explodes. That's Rumble. They don't like admitting it. It do kind of function off having like politics be their most driving factor. Like politics are the most driving factor for Rumble.
YouTube now, and it didn't used to be that way. YouTube used to be about content creators. Now it's about politics.
Yeah,
it really is. I mean, I get, and Twitter even starting to look when I go to see who I should follow, and it's a bunch of politicians that I don't care about on the list. Why are they even on my list? I don't follow them. I don't want to follow them. I don't interact with them. I don't.
Yeah. And then you'll see one of their posts and you'll just be like, all right, you're completely stupid.
I mean, they're totally on the other side of the fence from where I'm at, obviously. Why are you asking me to follow these people? What algorithm is triggering it backwards? You know what I mean? They should be coming to me saying, you need to check out this guy, and this guy, these conservative people. I don't even see them.
Right.
All I see is the people that are against how I feel and how I stand. Now, look, when you talk about the Colorado thing, nobody has been charged with insurrection. Not one J6 protester, nobody, not Trump, nobody has been charged with insurrection. What the Colorado Supreme Court did was stupid. Period. And you know, I'm just going to go with that. That's okay. Nobody has been charged with that. So you can't use that as a reason to take dude off the ballot. He wasn't charged with it. Neither was anybody else. There's no precedent that anybody on J6 committed that particular crime. So why are you trying to paste it on one person? It's like, get out of here with that dumb shit. You know, the Supreme Court will overturn that. I'm not.
It's so weird because people don't understand. I think public schools are complete trash, but they did at least teach the word of democracy. Obviously, it's public schools kind of lean more like, you know, left. Look, guys, literally democracy is people choosing who they want in charge. We as the people get to choose.
Hold on. Democracy is mob rule. Okay. We wrote a document to limit majority rule, to make sure minority had a voice. That's why the Constitution was written. Otherwise, we just have a democracy of mob rule. We don't have that.
Right.
That's why we have an electoral college. That's why we have all these safeguards in place to make sure that the largest crowd doesn't just get to kill everybody else because they're the larger crowd. Mob rule is very dangerous. very dangerous and very deadly. And it's not, democracy is not what this country was built on. It's a constitutional republic. We have safeguards in place to make sure that mob rule doesn't rule. Or my God, what would the South be like 240 years later if democracy was actually the truth? What would the South of America be like right now? If mob rule was allowed, that would have never changed. Okay, and everything would be the same as it was.
Yeah, and when I was reading that, dude, I was sitting there going like, isn't this unconstitutional? You can't just remove someone from the ballot. And then it's like, I told people, I hate when people bring this up, man, on Twitter. It's always, so cringe. They're like, we shouldn't be like them. We shouldn't call them names or all this sort of nonsense. They don't think of you the same way. It's not a level of respect these people have the same way for the other side. If that's going to happen, then just remove Biden from some of the ballots then. If they're going to play that game, unless you play that game yourself, as I hope they might do, they probably will. We'll show them, hey, unless you want to do this fairly, then we're going to remove him too. That's the thing. Now, to be fair, Trump was never going to win in California anyway. I mean, or Colorado, for being honest here.
What? He might now.
Yeah. Good chance now. Yeah, and all this push to people, all this stuff where they let Trump live rent-free in their head at this point, they're literally pushing more people to him at this point. He literally lives so rent-free in their heads at this point. I'm like, bro, this man, they act like this man went up and like shit in their fucking wives' mouths or something. Like, holy crap. They act like this guy was out here pissing in front of like, I don't know, a trash can and then lighting it on fire at Walmart's or something. Like, what is going on with these people?
Well, I mean, I just think it's funny. Okay, I mean, it started about 20 years ago where mudslinging became electoral politics. Okay, mudslinging is not how you bring people to your side. It's really not normal people anyway. Impressionable people you can bring to your side mudslinging, but not free-thinking people because they're going to see past your bullshit. You know, look. I do this for fun. I promote comic books for fun. How I get dragged into some of the stuff I get dragged into is ridiculous. I mean, seriously, okay? There's no reason that comic people should be involved in half of the shit that's out there right now. Y'all just make your comics, man. Give your customers something to buy. Blood Sports has never sold comics. It's given trolls voice, but it's never sold comics. You know, comics get sold because of good art and good stories.
Right. Like, even if I think digital has its own fair share of good and bad too. I mean, even if people are just making digital comics, go out there and just do that. Focus on how about focus? Like, a lot of people nowadays, dude, are just focused on talking about things around the actual like hobby, all the politics around the hobby. Like, it happens with Nerdrotic and like Jeremy and like Ryan Kina. I like those guys, but like, you know, everyone a new movie comes out, everyone's always the people that hate them. The people that hate them are always talking about what their opinion is on the movie, not the actual movie itself. Fuck the actual movie itself. It's whatever. What is their opinion about the movie? That's how much influence you can have in the world now. Where if I say I don't like Jaws from Steven Spielberg, I think Jaws is overrated trash. If I had enough. Like, if I was popular enough, people would actually start talking about my opinion more than the movie itself at this point now. I find that so weird. The movies don't even really matter.
Okay, this is the thing that I have to get across.
I'm not saying Jaws is bad, people. Jaws is amazing. I love that movie.
It is great to get, you know, the big names to come out and talk about your stuff and promote your stuff. It's wonderful. Okay, but if your stuff sucks, people aren't going to buy book 2. Doesn't matter who was influencing their decision on book 1, right? Okay, sure, EBS said it was great. I'm going to go check it out. But then it turned out to be not so good. I'm not buying book 2 no matter what EBS says now. You see what I'm saying? Because I read book 1. I know what book 1 gave me. Okay, the customer's wallet decides. Okay, the influencers can sell the beginning of your story. They can't sell your story after that. The story has to sell the story. The book has to sell itself. The art has to sell itself. Okay. as an influencer, which I hate the word, I consider myself a promoter, not an influencer. I try to get people to go look at it. I don't give you my opinion of it. Okay. I want you to go look at all these comics and buy the ones that you might like, the ones you think trigger you in a good way that you want to buy. That's the customers deciding what sells. That's how it's supposed to be. I don't go out there and go, man, you guys, you have to go buy this one. I'll tell you, I loved it if I did. Okay. I won't say anything if I didn't. So if you see me promoting something and then a year later I ain't talking about it, I probably didn't care for it. That don't mean I won't have dude on the show and let him promote his stuff again. I just, maybe it wasn't for me. Okay. All this stuff is subjective. You got story writing, art, all of it is personal preference, and your wallet decides. Don't let anybody else decide. You look at something you're looking through the Fun My Comic base or group, right? The page. And there's a bunch of stuff to choose from. And you see 2, 3, 4, 5 things that you like. Not because somebody else said anything, because that art or style or particular story might appeal to you. That's why you buy comics. For your own personal entertainment. Okay. Now, yeah, there's people out there that buy comics to support other people, and that's great. Okay, that's wonderful. We got to have that. You got to have the community supporting each other and building each other up. At the same time, you got to provide a great product if you want them to be able to build up book 2, book 3, book 4. It's got to be good. You know, or there won't be a book 2, book 3, book 4. Because so book 1, no matter who you have promoting it, no matter who you have out there telling people to buy it, make sure it's good, guys.
Yeah.
Make sure it's good. Have a good editor. Somebody that knows you well enough to know that they can talk to you and tell you if something needs fixing. Don't have a yes man for an editor. Okay. There's a lot of things that can help your product be better.
What's crazy, man, is I didn't even know all this stuff came into books and comic books until like obviously many 5-6 years ago. I was like, back in the day, I thought people just like literally did art, wrote it, got it printed, and just shipped it.
Dude, when I was a kid buying comics, I didn't even give a shit whose name was inside.
Yeah.
I didn't know who any of these people were. Okay.
And now that you know who they are, you're probably like, man, it's better if I didn't know you actually.
Well, I mean, the only reason you started paying attention really, I think, was when McFarlane did Spider-Man 300 and everybody started looking at art. You know, I really think that was when, I know that was it for me. It was like, okay, this is a lot different than the last guy, the web design, you know, the way the web looked, everything. McFarlane brought something different to the art of Spider-Man, which made me start looking at who was drawing it before. And seeing all that. Then I started looking at all the different Spider-Mans. You see what I'm saying? But it wasn't until one like that came along that it made me look. And then I started knowing people's names. Then I started paying attention to who this guy was that drew this, who wrote that, who did this, who did that. The first time I interviewed Mike Baron, right? Now I knew Mike Baron wrote Punisher. I had no idea how much other stuff that Mike Baron was part of that I had in my own collection. Okay, it's like I'm like, oh shit, he did that, and that, and I got he's all over my room. He's in that box. He's in that box. He's in that box. It's like, yeah, okay, well now I know who Mike Baron is. Of course, you know we're friends now, but it was like at the time, I just knew, yeah, he wrote Punisher. You know, didn't correlate Nexus, didn't correlate Badger, didn't correlate any of this stuff that I knew of. Didn't know Mike wrote it. I just knew it was good stuff that I liked. Then once I found out Mike wrote it, I started looking around at all the different stuff Mike had written, and I was like, dude's deep.
I had talked to Mike, and you would think that someone as legendary as him would be like, you know, very, very well off from his comic book days. The issue here is the way that like people think of like J.K. Rowling being successful off her Harry Potter series books selling very well, that doesn't really apply to comic books. I always thought it did. All the normal standard stuff for the industry is like Bizarro World reversed for the comic book industry. Like,
yes.
I find it crazy how Mark Miller has been successful throughout his career, but Mark Waid is probably like his Bizarro version, who's like the lesser successful one, who's actually just a straight up piece of shit for the most part.
This is what I'm talking about. People like that are using the negative press to try and generate views, because nobody cares what he's doing anymore, really. Yeah. And the only way he's relevant is to go out there and say stupid shit.
Yeah, you saw what he said recently. He said some more stuff today. You know why I think he's did it now? Because I'm pretty sure you heard of this. Remember the Warner Brothers Paramount potential merger? I think that, and we've seen this before. I don't know if you've been around since like last year when you were following some of this stuff. You were David Zaslav. He's been known to act stuff that doesn't make money. He's act stuff on Max that won't get any viewers or make money. He's obviously acts Batgirl and that Scoob movie, that sequel to the animated one that came out back in 2019. He acts it. He's selling up the Wile E. Coyote movie. He sold off a Batman animated series to Amazon Prime. He sold the DC stuff to Tubi. Now, people will be like, how does that affect comic books? Since David Zaslav is all based around aiming to make profit for him, what's to stopping that guy going in the DC comic books building they probably have and be like, hey, we ain't making no profit here. I need to see some changes or you're all getting fired. What's to stopping him at this point? He literally he did it for everything else at this point. What? That's like the last thing he hasn't even touched. Remember in that press conference he had when he first took over, he was like, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are our biggest IPs. Okay, well, I hope if his brain works this way, if your comic sold very well, along with your successful DC universe you have coming up with James Gunn, that could be really good. I just don't understand why people haven't looked at it that way when it comes to like the books now. He could literally go in there and stop the whole thing right now.
Oh, okay. This is one of the things, the problems I have with it. Okay. They marketed the movies, all the movies in the beginning were older storylines.
Yeah.
Older storylines, because they were marketing those movies to people like me, because they knew we would go see them. They slowly changed that. Okay. They could have used those movies to sell comics. They could have used comics to sell movies. It's not what they do. It's like they're separated. They're using the movies. They're using old comics to sell movies. And then they try to flip the script on some of this stuff like Captain Marvel and whatnot. And it doesn't work because it's not the old story anymore. It's some new twist. Right? Okay. Well, that's not what sold comics back in the day. Those numbers back in the day when the comics were selling crazily, it's because it was good stuff. And that's what they based all these movies on. You know, all the movies are from back in the day. The one I hated the most was the Spider-Man one where they had Venom and the Sandman and the Hobgoblin all in the same freaking show. And it was like, no. It was like you're taking 3 different decades of Spider-Man and you're cramming it into one movie. Don't do that.
Like even in the comic books back in the day for Spider-Man, when a Hobgoblin first appeared, there was this big giant scandal of like who he was. The editors didn't really want to put it the exact person doing it. I forgot the first guy I remember it was Ned Leeds, the first guy, right? Yeah. And that was over just a whole ton of bullshit. Meanwhile, the story that came out with Hobgoblin was really good. A lot of people were like, I don't know who this was, and all this. And now, if they did that now for like MCU, let's say their MCU would be like Spider-Man, Hobgoblin, blah, blah, blah. We know it would just be a name that. The actual story wouldn't reflect that. Remember the Secret Invasion show that came out, which was complete garbage? I didn't watch it, but I saw enough clips from it to see, wait a minute, it's just name value. That's it. It's just in name. It's called Secret Invasion. It's not the actual story you remember. And I always think to ask myself, so they value the name of the book itself, but don't value the story enough to replicate it. Then why even do it then?
Well, see, that's just it. That's what I mean. They take these old storylines from comics that were popular, and that's how they started the MCU with Captain America, with Iron Man, with older storylines, right? With the first Thor movie, okay? Then they tried to bring it all into the future.
Yeah. Well, try to get a modern audience. They try to get a brand new modern audience. I don't know what that even means. That's like a unicorn. That's a unicorn that's in the sky farting out bacon on people's faces. Because there's no new audience. There's the people you already have that were buying your stuff. That's your audience. And dude, no one even understands about books like comic books, like with Yu-Gi-Oh cards or trading cards in general. That's a niche. As a niche, it's already the amount of people you already have is going to be capped to maybe like 300,000, 400,000, whatever. It's already have a capped line of audience because it's already a small niche in and of itself. So I don't know what type of new audience they think they're trying to get when that audience never bought books to begin with. And even the gay people that probably like the comic books, didn't the gay people just like them just the way it was? Why are we pandering? Like, what is this pandering thing they're doing now? I don't know. It's just like they just want to burn to the ground at this point.
And that's just it. It's like you don't draw people in by pandering. Okay. Basically most people see past it. Most people see through the flaw, most people see through that shit. It's a facade. Most people with an active brain, just like with politics or anything, they see past the bullshit to who and what's really going on. Okay. That comes from experience. Okay. Young kids don't have that experience. They're being fed this stuff and they're being told this is who these heroes are. And in actuality, those aren't heroes anymore. They're activists. They're not heroes. When you have page after page of talking heads arguing about social subjects instead of Superman beating somebody's ass, you have lost the hero aspect of the comics. It's not about the words. It's about the actions, guys. Actions speak louder than words. All those cliches, all those quotes, from back in the day, that shit's all real.
Mm-hmm. All those quotes definitely have aged very well. The problem here is no one really applies them, Well,
my heroes don't talk, they do.
Yeah.
Okay, if a bad guy pulls out a gun in a theater and starts shooting at people, you don't stand up and go, "Hey, man, that ain't cool." You jump his ass. You might die, but that's what a hero does. He doesn't stand in the backstage afterwards with the fucking microphone and the news people going, "Yeah, it was really horrible." That's not a hero.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a good guy
talking to him ain't the hero.
Yeah, a superhero isn't someone who's like doing good at night and then in his civilian form he's just doing crack and selling crack to kids. Like, that's not a good guy. That's not a good guy, I would say. That's a pretty bad person, actually, But now that's the thing. That whole anti-hero trope they had with like Deadpool and Blade and Punisher. That's cool for like a few characters who can pull that off. Not everyone is an anti-hero.
No.
Because it starts blurring the lines of like what is really a hero versus what is really a villain at this point. It gives them that non-creative cop-out in storytelling that I hate it. Lord, one trope that was really popular led them down a fucking rabbit hole of just bullshit at this point. Yeah.
Well, I even look at even the underground comics they've tried to yank into this decade. Okay, Freak Brothers, which is the best underground comic ever done, hands down. They reprinted like 25 or 30 times. There's that stuff. Okay, it is the best. And then they go and make some kind of a show, a Netflix show or whatever. I don't know what it's on. It's on, streaming. And they yank the guys into this century or into this decade. Which there can be some funny things about that, like, they didn't know weed was legal now. And, so some of that interaction with that part of it is hilarious. But those guys are hippies from the 60s. And everything they say is going to be offensive to a cupcake today. You know what I mean? And they have to totally water down these characters. And it sucks. It really sucks. Don't do that, guys. Don't water down your character to appease. There's nobody to appease. Those people that are crying don't spend their money on comics. They're activists. If they bought comics and they bought your comic and read it, they wouldn't be saying shit. They'd be waiting for the next one, right?
Yeah. Lord, man. It's people who will just be like, hey, I can't wait to go download this book off uTorrent or freaking pirate it off Pirate Bay. They're not spending actual money on the book. And it's crazy that if you went and you spent your hard money on the book and you put a review out on YouTube, they would call you an insta fucking whammon hating phobe or something for something that they wouldn't even buy themselves.
Yeah.
It doesn't make no sense.
I do want to show off. I got to show off my Christmas present I got from my boy over there at Rake Hill.
Okay.
From Whitefire Comics. Got me this shirt. Raise a little hell, baby. Yeah. That's why I'm here. And that's why I wore it, to raise a little hell today. You know.
And hey, I've always told people, hey, I like when people do their own stuff. Even if it's not a comic book, it's gonna be maybe a written book. Written books, I'll take that too. That's still you putting out your own stuff. Try and if you have a creative bone in your body, try and put out your own thing. See how it goes. Maybe it's not for you. Maybe you team up with someone. Who cares? Just try and do something if you really want to do it. You don't want to be like, fucking 50 years old and you're like, oh man, I could have did it back in my days.
I was a comic fan all that time and never ever had the urge to be an artist or a writer or none of that until Jesus Christ, after I was 50 years old, probably 45, 50 years old, that I actually wrote and started doing a little bit of drawing. I'm not an artist. I'm not a writer. I do have a cool outline for an awesome story, and a couple chapters already written, but I'm not a writer. That's not what my goal is right now. My goal, COVID gave this old man purpose. Okay, it gave me a reason to do something, to come out here and promote my friends in comic books, help them sell their books, because there were no tables. That's all. That's how this began. That's what turned this fan into a promoter. That's where the YouTube group, the Facebook group, the YouTube channel, and now the ROKU preview channel, that's where all this came from. Okay, blame COVID, because that's where it all came from. I was just a guy who bought comics before that. That's all. Just a guy that
I'll say this: when COVID came through and StreamYard came out a little bit before the actual hit, that was I was able to actually start doing like podcasts and stuff like that, because I couldn't do it through OBS.
I never had OBS.
Yeah, like the way this has made podcasting, not only just the way I would envision I would want it, has the layouts I need, has the way that people are going to come in. And yeah, man, if COVID didn't hit, I probably would have never had a chance to do podcasting, because, the urge probably just wouldn't have been there, because I had like so many other things on my mind at the time. I was like, oh, I'll get to it later. I'll do it at some point. I'll do it when maybe my wife is out taking the kids somewhere and I'm banging her sister. I don't know.
Well, I was grandpa daycare at the time. Four munchkins. I think two of them were in school and two of them weren't at the time, or three of them were in school, one of them wasn't. COVID, when it hit, okay, it's like a bunch of little guys, munchkins are running around here. Okay. This was like just something for me to do other than just be a grandpa. The podcasting thing. COVID gave it life. It gave it a purpose. Now I have a direction to take it. I'm going to go out here and help my friends sell comics. Okay. That is all I think about now. How can I help people sell comics? I direct them to fund my comic. Go over there and look at that stuff, because they got some good fucking stuff over there. Go look. Okay. This is what I do now. I promote comics. I promote channels. Okay. There's a lot of channels that aren't part of our network yet that I still promote, and they know I'm promoting them, and they know I'm sharing them out there, and they know I like what they're doing, and they know I want them to bring their stuff to our ROKU network too. You see what I'm saying? It's not a competition, you guys. It's co-opetition. We all got to work together to build something big enough that we can't be ignored.
Oh my goodness. In 1776. Sorry for lagging a little bit there. Give me a second, guys. The heck's going on? Okay, everything's fine. I was was watching Amaranth stream and she was shaking her ass, so I had to watch that for research purposes. Obviously, you know, it was jiggling pretty good.
What did I miss? What? Where? What?
The ass is moving pretty good. Good lord. Freaking
Wait,
white girls with the best.
Send me a link in the private chat or something. What am I missing?
Yeah, science purposes. Yeah. Miss 1776 says, "I love him more than you do." That sounds gay. What the heck? Oh Lord. Gay.
I will be talking to her tomorrow, by the way. We'll be setting up something with her.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
she said, I was like, I am pretty sure you want to talk to someone like Pops, because you know, he could obviously help you out with, you know, putting your show out to different people too, you know. And she's like, yeah, he's a cowboy. And I was like, you're a cowgirl, you know?
I'm not really a cowboy. I'm look, the thing that's funny is, like, when I was in high school, I fit in everywhere. I was the guy that, you know, I'm smoking weed, okay. I'm hanging out with the stoners. I'm hanging out with the geeks because I like comics and all that kind of stuff. I'm hanging out with the jocks because I like sports and that kind of stuff. I'm an athlete. I'm this, I'm that. I was a little bit of I fit in everywhere. I also had haters in every group too, because I hung out with those other guys. Wait, he doesn't always just exclusively hangs out with us. He goes and hangs out with the jocks sometimes too. So what? But there was always haters in every group, just like there was people that liked me in every group.
Yeah,
I'm used to that shit.
I still don't know how you freaking built up giant Facebook group. And no, come out on me up in 2024. I think I told you the last time you were here, I'm gonna start working on building up that Facebook group that I have. I just went in there today. I fixed up everything. The profile stuff is getting all, you know, it has to get like approved or whatever. They're like gay shit now. Just it's all done now.
Make it a group or a page?
I think I'm just gonna go with the group.
Go with the group.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
The page is where they come after you for monetary. Oh, you want to be promoted? You're gonna have to pay us. Blah 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 blah. Don't build a page. Build a group and invite your people, your fans, your friends to your group and promote your stuff in the group and encourage them to as well. As soon as you start encouraging everybody else to promote there, your group starts getting traction. Other people start posting. That's what the Comic Related Madness is all about. It's a promotional and networking group. That's what it's for. If you got something you want people to see on Facebook, go join the madness, drop your links in the madness at least once a day. I tell everybody, you got an active campaign, drop that link once a day, because that feed goes fast. And not everybody's going to scroll back 2-3 days to see what was posted 2-3 days ago. Okay? Do that every day. And
people barely do that on YouTube. People literally can't even,
man.
People literally on their phones can't even take their finger, put it on a screen, scroll down on a YouTube channel to see what people have done. This is how lazy people are. This is we're talking like peak laziness here.
It's a point and click world. That's I tell everybody, you drop your links, okay? We give everybody in the Madness Network a wrench. If you ask me and you have like promotion that you have or YouTube channel or a comic that you're kickstarting, whatever, and you ask for a wrench, I give you a wrench because I encourage people to drop their links anytime we're live. I don't care if we're doing a game stream. I don't care what we're doing. It's a promotion network, guys. Self-promotion is key, okay? I'm not out looking at all your pages to see what you guys are doing. I give you a platform to bring your stuff where I can see it, and then I can tell people about it and share it out to my other platforms. But I don't have time to go look at everybody's page, guys. Bring it to me so I can see it. Put it in front of me. Put it on my Twitter. Put it on my Facebook group. Put it in the YouTube chat. Put it where I can see it. Then I can promote it. That's, it's that simple. But it doesn't matter what kind of stream we're doing. It doesn't matter if it's your launch party for your book. That doesn't mean I don't want Christian to go out there and put his link in the chat too.
Yeah.
Okay. It's promotion and networking, guys. That's what it's all about.
I know you've had like, so what's the Silverline?
Silverline is Roland Man. He used to be with Malibu. That's his comic line. And it's a huge, they got a lot of titles over there, man. A lot of good stuff you can read.
Because I would love to talk to him if you could ever put us in touch. I would love to talk to him.
I can do that. He's a good dude, man. He was one of the first people when I said I wanted to do the Roku thing to come to me and yeah, Pops, I want in. You know, he understood what I'm trying to do. And anybody who has Roku, look, I got Roku playing right now. I got it right now on my TV. It's right there. Okay. If you go look, there's not a lot of pop culture shows. There's not a lot of comic book stuff. Okay. It's an untapped audience, guys, but it's a huge freaking audience. They make their own TVs. And you know what's great about a Roku TV? I'm going to tell you something else you might not know. There is no surveillance equipment in a Roku TV. There is none.
They are very big on not having that stuff a part of their platform. They're very big on that.
That's why they're cheaper TVs too. They cost less because they don't have the surveillance equipment in them. They're not a spy bot in your house. Okay, so this is what, look, it's us against big tech now. Okay, this is why my Roku is going to exist. This is why we're building it for you guys. You don't have to worry about being demonetized, taken down, removed, blacked out. You won't have to worry about your content being scammed on. Okay, nobody's going to get your ad revenue because you used free use music. None of that shit's going to happen on Roku, guys. None of it. Okay, we're going to build something for you just like Luke is building something for you. Same thing. That's why I love what Luke's doing. It's for you guys. You know, if you have content, you got a show, you want to bring it to the network, hit me up. We're going to be relaunching the campaign soon. Okay. And it's still going to be really cheap to bring your stuff to the madness. None of that's going to change. The only part of the campaign that's going to change is what we had done eventually in the first place was tried to get all the money we needed to do everything we wanted to do instead of just getting the money we needed to get it up and running. Okay. This time we're going to get the money we need to get it up and running, and the stretch goals will be for the extras. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to get the money. We had enough funding in the first campaign to have it up and running. We just weren't thinking in the correct order at the time. Okay. Now we got it right. The main cost is the server to store everything. Okay. That's like $1,800. How much short do you think we were from our goal?
I think you're about
$1,800. Okay. So
yeah,
we could have started this network next week, just going forward with no previous content. We could have launched it next week if we had been thinking right, and we could have used, we could have done the stretch goal, the first stretch goal as the server for uploading previous content. And if we'd have got to that stretch goal, then we add the tiers for the showrunners for how much content they want to upload, blah, 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 right? We just didn't set it up right. Because we could be launching next week if I had set it up right. Okay, I did, but I'm not going to make that mistake this time. Also, you know my boy Ray, Tug's internet guy, Ray Haylock.
Yeah.
I talked to Ray like 2 days before the campaign's over. And Ray's like, Pops, nobody can see what you're selling. There was no preview channel. There was nothing to show people what we were doing. Give me a second here. I will show you what he's talking about was that we had no proof of concept. Okay. So here we went out and we fixed that. I'm going to show you what I mean right now. Check this out, buddy. The Roku Madness Network preview channel is live right now with 10 shows that you can go watch and get an idea of what it is that we do.
I can't believe I didn't think of that.
Yeah, I didn't think of it either, bro.
Yeah, as much as we were talking about putting up a Indiegogo Kickstarter campaign and people having preview pages. I totally forgot. If you didn't actually prove your concept, people are going to be like, okay. People like the idea you had. The problem here is like if you actually hadn't proof of concept, then it's hard to get that next. Because people like to, for these kind of things, since they're really, really, really big, people want to see something of a finished product, like a little just a beta test. So
I was using my YouTube channel as my beta test and telling people, just go look at the playlist on YouTube and you can see everything we're going to bring to Roku. But I didn't have nothing on Roku to show them.
Right. Yeah.
Now we are on Roku. We are freaking live on Roku. We have exactly what we need there. Okay. Proof of concept. We have 10 of our shows, 10 of the previous shows that have aired. Some really fun stuff. Laurie interviews Chuck Dixon. Bunch of good shows on that preview. But if you go to Roku and you type in, what is it? You have to, like add it to your account. It's Crom 2. Mm-hmm. Crom 2 is the, at the end of the address, add account, blah, 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 Crom 2 is the account name. You can see that. You can be part of it. I've had a bunch of people send me pictures of their TVs with our channel on it. And I'm like, yeah, people are already seeing it. Mm-hmm. And that's important. Now, we also have a partnership kind of deal with Hart Fisher at the American Horror Channel. He's playing our ad. People on Roku that view his channel know we're coming. Okay, we're getting seen. This is the whole thing. Now, we have to relaunch the campaign, obviously. Okay, but like I said, it's going to be set up right this time with the lower goal and the server cost with the stretch goal.
I think people resonate easier with a smaller goal to reach than just a huge, large one to overcome.
Yeah, we were looking at this is what it's going to cost to do what we were trying to do.
Right.
Now we're looking at, okay, let's get it up there and running. And then if then we could go also to fund my comic and we could put up a campaign there. Guys, we need 1,800 to get the server to upload extra content, and fund the server for the content.
Yeah.
There's nothing going to stop us from doing this. Mm-hmm. I'm even open to just going to 5 different investors and saying, throw 1,000 at me and let's do this. Okay. I'm not against that. The route doesn't matter. It's going to fucking happen.
Well, as you know, with investors, or if they put you in touch with sponsors just want eyes on the show mm-hmm. so they can obviously advertise their products more. That's how sponsors really care. Sponsors get money from the customers they have in their good products, that all they want is more eyes on their products so people just buy them. So if people start sponsoring Roku, if Roku starts bringing in like big sponsors, that's another untapped market there too. In
the beginning, it's just like I said, you have a show, okay? Mm-hmm. If you have your own in-show sponsors, I'm not going to tell you, oh man, you can't do that.
I'm taking
you got your own in-show sponsors. You make your money. You do your thing.
I need OnlyFans for girls can show me off their buttholes so I can sponsor them. Now
we're also going to have an ad library. Mm-hmm. Okay, if you want to help promote other people, we'll have an ad library. And if you say, "Hey man, I want to play Mike Barron's ad 30 minutes into my show," we'll set you up and we'll play Mike Barron's ad 30 minutes into your show. Mm-hmm. But we'll have an ad library where you guys will all be able to help each other too. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's aside from the Roku ads that play at the beginning, which is where the ad revenue comes from. Okay, from the actual Roku ads that play before your show. Mm-hmm. That's where the ad revenue comes from. Mm-hmm. The adding of the ad library of our own is for us. Okay, it's not a McDonald's ad. It's not a COVID ad or whatever Roku's throwing up there, it's our stuff. So we're putting an ad library available to the content creators to choose from our stuff, from our people.
Yeah.
Okay. Our trailers, Mike Barron's trailer, Laurie's trailer, whoever. Okay. Whatever. Okay. Whatever ad you're putting up there, we're going to give you an ad library where you can support the people that you like. Mm-hmm. It's networking and promotion, guys. It's co-opetition. It's not competition. Mm-hmm. This network ain't built on who's better. It's built on everybody's best. Give us your best. Just simple.
Mm-hmm.
I got a plan, and Roku is just a stepping stone, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Roku is just a stepping. Look, YouTube, Facebook, these are all stepping stones to something of our own.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not freaking getting warnings from YouTube when your content's unlisted in your own account that no one can see.
Yeah. You think me or Max are going to have time to worry about what you have in your unlisted account? Like, I'm going to give a shit what you got in your look, dude, I don't care what's in your. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't have time. It's just like when somebody said, well, what are you going to do about like people's information? You think I got time to data mine? Mm-hmm. You think I know anything about that shit? No, I don't got time. Too busy promoting. Look, you want to know something that's really sad? I don't know if you noticed or not, but I started playing Fallout live.
Really?
Yeah, I'm on like my 10th episode or something. I've been playing Fallout 4 live on screen. You know why I started doing that? I felt bad playing games and not creating content. I felt like I wasn't doing anything if I was just laying over there playing Fallout.
Yeah. Yeah, same here, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, well, maybe if I just put it out there live and create content out of it, I won't feel so bad taking 2 hours a day to play a game.
Yeah. Because that's the thing that I thought. I was like, I could play this in silence, but I might as well just, if I can make content out of it and people already watch people play games, I might as well just make content out of it. You're doing the same shit anyway, you know?
I felt guilty sitting over there playing a game and I wasn't working. So now I set it up and I play it live and it's part of the job. Mm-hmm. You see, I don't feel guilty anymore for playing a little bit of video game. You know, it's not scheduled. It's just whenever I feel like playing it and there's open airtime on the network. But, you know, I like doing it. It turned out to be fun, you know, because I can talk shit to the characters and nobody thinks it's stupid because it's part of the entertainment. If you're sitting in a room playing video games by yourself and you're talking to your TV, there's a problem. But if you're broadcasting, you can talk all you want. You see what I'm saying? Kids are like, Grandpa, who are you talking to?
Even Laurie, she hit 100 episodes on her show recently.
Actually, the show hit 100 episodes. Laurie hit 65.
Laurie hit 65. Oh, okay.
We had 35 episodes in. She joined in. She took over on episode 35.
Okay.
Of the Tuesday morning brew. Yeah, we was talking about that. Look, Laurie's done a great job with that show.
Yeah.
I couldn't have picked a better.
Didn't someone else have it before her, actually?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. That guy's a fucking slacker. He wasn't putting in the work.
No, dude, it was like it was a CromCon weekend, okay?
Yeah.
We start Friday night. Okay, we do CromCon. We do it all day Saturday, all day Sunday. I do Monday Madness. By Tuesday, I was fucking wiped, bro. You know what I mean? It's like I just went 40 or 50 hours of content in the previous 4 days. And yeah, by Tuesday, the shows weren't, especially the ones that followed a CromCon weekend, they just weren't that good.
Right.
And I needed somebody to take it over who wasn't totally wore out after a huge weekend of podcasting, you know. And some people think, yeah, you're just podcasting. Dude, this is some taxing shit. Especially when you get to the point where you're juggling 40 shows, juggling a network, scheduling, booking for a lot of them. I set up a lot of the shows for them.
And if someone gets sick, you got to maybe ask someone else who's not really on that day to come on, so you have another person on. Because, like, I'm not the type of person where people are going to be interested in me talking to myself, basically by myself alone. I realized as I first started liking this stuff because Ben Shapiro would do it. I go to my friend's house, his mom was watching Ben Shapiro. I was like, that sounds kind of cool. Someone just sitting right there talking about their interest in doing a podcast. I was like, that sounds cool as fuck. Then I did a few episodes by myself. I just deleted them because they're just like straight shit. Like, I'm not that interesting alone. Yeah, I'm just not that interesting of a person to do it alone. And like, it's just kind of better if you just had it with other people, because the podcasts that I liked, they had other people. And I was like, I don't want to do this alone. It's boring. I'm not that interesting of a person.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, I'm looking for a new co-host for Monday Madness. 5 o'clock Eastern. If anybody wants to co-host with Pops on the Monday Madness, I'm looking for a new co-host there. And I'm also looking for an artist to host this Sunday, the open draw streams on Sunday. So, you know, I mean, we even have openings in the network for people to jump in if they don't want to do it. If they don't have a show of their own, they still want to get involved. We got someplace for you. You know, hit me up, man. We'll put you on the show. We'll ease you into it if you're not comfortable. What he just said about coming out here by yourself, man, I so totally get that. I'm always in our private chat for the network. Hey guys, I don't want to do the show by myself. Hope somebody's coming out with me.
I don't like gaming streams. Gaming streams are fine. I can do those alone because the game is going to keep your attention. But if you're doing like a podcast or anything, it's I can't do them alone. Fuck that. Nope. I'd rather actually slit my throat.
Even if I'm doing an interview with somebody, I'm not an industry professional. I like to have a co-host who at least knows what's behind the scenes in the industry. Not like I don't know now. Okay, 4 years of doing this, I pretty good idea what's going on.
People start telling you so many stories, and you start hearing about so much stuff that correlates back to what they're saying. You're like, oh, I think I'm seeing a pattern here.
You figure it out. But at the same time, I like to have somebody like Doc or somebody out here with me, because they're going to ask a more technical art question. They're going to ask more of an industry behind the scenes question than I'm going to come up with. You know what I mean? So I like to have a co-host that's actually knowledgeable about the subject at hand, which is on Monday Madness. Obviously, it's shilling comic books. So, you know, somebody out there like doesn't want to do a show of their own, but they'd like to co-host with me on the show, I got a spot for you. That's basically it.
I mean, now coming up, it's crazy, man. 10 years ago, I graduated high school in 2013. Man of Steel came out that same year. Went to go watch Man of Steel opening weekend. And now Aquaman is ending the DCEU. The guy who talks to fish is ending the DCEU. It's so crazy.
It's like jumping the shark. Sounds right.
Yeah. If someone had told me that the highest grossing movie in this universe would have been the Aquaman solo movie. But
see, why? Why was it? It was because all the ladies want to see Jason in the. It wasn't on the content.
Yeah. Man.
Make Napoleon Dynamite Aquaman and nobody goes.
Right, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That was an eye candy movie for the ladies. That's all it was.
Yeah. It's just so crazy now that a universe that started with Superman is ending with Aquaman. Oh God. Man, I was so glad this universe is over. It's just shit for the most part. Like, I think I've liked about like 3 of the movies that I would actually consider like good. The rest of them are just really bad. And also, this all was conceived under just stupid people who didn't really know what the fuck they were doing because they were just reacting to someone else being successful. And that was even their worst L. Remember they gave J.J. Abrams $50 million to do nothing? These people needed to get bought out. They were actually just stupid. Like Paramount, massive debt Paramount's under. They need to find a buyer. It's crazy. A lot of things are going to be changing, man. The House of Cards, the industry was built on Hollywood and everything. It's all starting to come down at this point.
Remember what I said in the beginning about wallets decide?
Yeah.
Bottom line, people, your wallet decides. Okay. If you like something, you pay for it. If you don't, you don't. If a lot of people are paying for something, everybody knows it.
Yeah, that's the thing. These guys got to a point where they felt like they were so big, they couldn't even conceive their franchises losing steam or even losing money. Yeah. Now certain movies have to struggle to break even, guys. Movies have to struggle now to break even, not make money, not even make profit. Breaking even is hard to do now. That's crazy.
There ain't even that many that have broke even in the last 5
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of them have lost a lot of money.
Yeah, movies are losing money. And look, part of this, I'm gonna say it, it's technology. Okay, all this green screen fucking fake fucking acting and all that, all that. Yeah. That's part of why we don't care. Look, I loved back in the day when a stunt man took a punch to sell a scene, right? Where is that? Where is that in movies now? It doesn't exist. Everybody's protected. Everything's perfect. Everything. I'm just not a fan of the green screen, the CGI, none of it. I want live action. I want live actors. I want a set. I want something to actually blow up, not a video of something blowing up in the background. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Remember Freddy versus Jason? The guy people remember that scene where he's on fire going through the freaking field? That guy's actually on fire.
Yeah.
I think that's safe, but he's actually on fire. Just saying. Oh, Lord.
That's like what's called good movies, was good acting, good stunt work, good sets. That's what sold good movies, guys.
God, man. It's crazy how things have worked now. Like, movies have changed. The way people view content has changed. The way comic books have changed. It's just, I guess we all got to start changing with it, or else we're all going to go broke.
None of it is for the better. That's the problem. I don't mind change if it's for the better.
Yeah, if it's like, making these a little bit faster that I can receive something. Yeah, a lot of this change. People keep saying things are changing, but are these things changing for the better, or are they changes because people feel like they have to do something because they feel like it's getting stale for some reason, even though they have no evidence to back up if it's getting stale? The audience is supporting it and liking it. No, it's stale. Let's just change all the Avengers out for Black women. It's like, what?
It's just crazy. It's all just crazy. So I did want to say, though, and, of course, the offer is open to you. Bring your content to the network. You know that.
Anytime.
Anybody out there, look, you want to talk to me about this, at Madness Comic on Twitter or Pops Van Zandt on Facebook, you can hit me up. I'm wide open, man. I want this thing to just blow up. So, if you like what we're talking about, hit me up. I'll make sure you're in the loop when this thing takes off. Miss 1776, I will talk to you tomorrow for sure.
Yeah. Good Lord. She's an interesting person. Make sure to praise me in front of her. Say how good looking I am, how rich and successful I am. That way she could just start coping and seething. I just want to see it on stream.
I can only talk to the things I know. As soon as you send me one of them large donations, I'll be able to speak to how rich you
are. Oh God, man. That's the thing is finding people. I went through like several groups of people for shows to the point where, I've landed on a solid group of people now where we can vibe very well and have great conversations without it getting heated or like super disrespectful or anything like that. But just people understand, even finding people is really hard to do. Like finding someone that's not only just finding people is kind of easy. Finding people that are dedicated is even harder. That people actually want to buy into what you're doing, because if you have nothing to show people and they're like, I kind of want to do it. Well, if you have nothing to show them, they're going to just treat it like it's just fuck all, because showing them nothing, actually, for the most part. It's a really hard thing to do, getting a group of people under an idea and a vision while also disagreeing, while also kind of getting people that are dedicated. Then if they're not dedicated, you have to kind of be like, okay, I can't really keep you, but then they're mad they're getting kicked out. It's a doozy. Once you did it a few times, you'll understand. People who haven't done this won't understand the type of like insider things you have to go through in order to get dedicated people to what you're doing. It's the hardest thing ever.
Well, we had one guy left the network because he was afraid of YouTube. YouTube gonna keep giving me strikes because you guys keep playing those comic trailers or whatever. And I was like, dude, they're not strikes. Those are not strikes. They're just letting you know that you used something that's copyrighted. That's not a channel strike. It's
that's not even a claim. All you have to do is just hit accept.
Yeah,
it's over.
It's over. Yeah, it's like no big deal, right? But dude got scared that YouTube was gonna like whatever to him, and he left. the network. Whatever, dude. We've had other people that, I don't know, they just left because they couldn't handle it. I ain't got time to hold somebody's hand, babysit them. If I'm going through all the work of setting up your show, bringing in the sponsors that pay for the StreamYard that puts your show on a network in the first place, I'm doing all the work. I'm setting up your show. And then you want to tell me how I dropped the ball 1 week because I say, hey, you got to set up your own show this week. I'm dropping the ball. You're not paying me, so I'm not dropping anything. Okay, you're taking advantage of a free platform that's been offered to you, and thanks for leaving, because I'm not going to waste my time on somebody that doesn't appreciate the work I'm doing. I work hard at this, man. I'm out every day. I don't take a day off. Every day I'm doing stuff to help people get seen. I don't need to take shit from nobody, man. It's like, I can help you or not, but I'm not going to take shit from,
Yeah, the thing is, I'm literally here 7 days a week. Not even that. I'm also doing pre-recorded videos that I'm throwing out on YouTube, So, and I realized to myself, YouTube's going to be in this weird fucking bought and paid for state right now until whoever comes in. So I'm just going to throw out pre-recorded videos. I know those are pretty much safe on YouTube. Well, you should just be in that little boundary. Can't use certain words. It's okay. Whatever, I guess. Just put out the League of Legends podcast that is out there. But you know what? Whatever. Got to change the times, man. Changes for the better, as they said. Changes for the better, as they always say, people. But as I told you guys, in 2024, things are going to be pretty big for the most part. And comic book reviews will be on the channel. Oh.
A lot of people are going to get demonetized this year.
Yeah.
It's not just flat removed from YouTube. Okay. Prepare yourself for this, guys. Have a backup. Be ready to move to the next place or whatever. Okay. We're offering this because we see what's coming. It's already happened to friends of ours. I couldn't believe I was on Peter Cimetti's show talking about the ROKU, and he's asking me why would we bring our stuff to your ROKU network? Why? And then 2 weeks later, he gets demonetized. Hey, Pete, that's why. That's why, because we won't do that to you. That's why. Okay, so, if you need any more reason than that, I don't know what to tell you. I do got to wrap this up, though. It's almost...
Yeah. I got to ask you a few more things. Last few things. First thing, any plans for 2024 coming up as you like a New Year's resolution?
Make sure this happens.
Yeah.
Make sure this ROKU thing happens. That's my 2024 goal. I mean, actually, early 2024 goal. I don't plan on it being like something that takes me another year. We got a year in the building of this. It's time to make it happen.
Right.
It was really disappointing that I set the campaign up wrong the first time.
Yeah, I imagine it would be. But, that's the thing. You live and learn. It's okay. Happens.
And I don't let nothing get me down, man. Keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling. That doesn't mean that there's times I'm not frustrated, because that's obviously there is. But it doesn't stop what I'm doing next. It don't never get in the way of the next show. Or, I can be arguing with somebody 5 minutes before a show starts, and when that show starts, I'm in the show. I'm not thinking about that guy no more. I'm dedicated to what I'm doing. Right. So,
and last thing I'll ask is any shout outs you want to give to anyone in particular? Anything else you want to say before you head out?
Everyone in the Madness Network, all those cool ass people over at Iron Age. Love those guys, Royce and Daniel and everybody over there. Dude, I've been catching some of your streams. Okay, it's like I don't rumble, so I don't get a notification. But when I see you live on Twitter, I've been tuning in a little bit. I like the people you got in that larger panel. I'd like to get some of them people come out on the Madness Network and tell us.
Yeah, we can make it happen.
What they do. We have
to do a TV. We have to do a crossover episode at some point. It'd be kind of cool. Yes.
Oh yeah, Christian, definitely. I would definitely. Christian offered some original art sketch cards on the past campaign, and those will be back. Most everybody who offered stuff on the last campaign are still part of what we're doing this time. Okay, most all that stuff will still be available. The main thing though is I think we're going to do better this time. A lot more people understand what it is we're doing now.
Yeah.
Okay. And we will have the proof of concept up there. They can see this. We're building this. It's up there right now. You can see it on Roku right now.
Yeah.
Okay. We just need the money to build the big shot.
Right.
You know, the big thing. You know, I'll tell you flat out, dude, if I had $5,000 right now, we wouldn't even be talking about it. That shit would be launching on the first.
Yeah.
I just don't have the money to do it.
Yeah. I always said, hey, man, you can sell your ass on OnlyFans, get 5K and bounce.
I don't think nobody going to pay for this. I don't even think the old gay dudes want to see this.
Take the money and run. All right. We'll see you guys later. But yeah, in 2024, we'll definitely have to talk about, doing a massive... It'd be kind of cool doing a massive crossover episode with people in the panel. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be great, man. I'd love to do that. Get like some of your people, some of our people.
You can get all those hot old ladies you have on your show to look at me flex. Oh, Lord. But see you guys later. Have a great everyone.